Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I am your girl, Divina, and I am so excited that you decided to tune in to this episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I shouldn't say I'm excited. I should say I am very grateful that you decided to tune in. So before we even start with me bringing on my guest, I just wanted to tell you guys all Happy New Year. I hope your holiday was everything. I know mine was nice and relaxing. So I just hope that everybody's doing well, being healthy. And yeah, so before, like I said, I bring on my guest, don't forget to like this video, comment. I know this is going to be pre-recorded, but definitely still comment, if you feel the need to, if you hear something throughout this interview. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest. All right. So, yes. So tonight I have with me my divine guest, Miss Keena. And we are going to get into another divinely crowned conversation. So before we start, I would love for her to introduce herself. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, Miss Keena.
Okay. Hello, everyone. First and foremost, thank you for inviting me. It is such
Yes.
an honor. Um, welcoming 2023 together. This
Yes.
is such an honor. I'm extremely grateful.
Yes.
My name is Marquina, but I go by Keena.
Yes.
And that's my nickname.
Yes.
And I am from Erie, PA.
Whoop, whoop.
However, I have been living in Philadelphia for 8 years
Wow.
already.
8
Exactly.
years.
8 years as of the first.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations. That's huge.
It's major.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it, but it's been 8 years.
Wow. Yeah, that is okay. We'll get into that. Well,
There you have it. That's my name. Yep,
yes.
I've been here for 8 years. I'm
And
excited.
we'll get into more as the interview goes on.
As the interview moves along.
Yes. So I always like to kind of give a background with how I know my guest. Because I know all of them in some way, most of my guests. So for Keena and I, we actually went to school together, Strong Vincent Colonels. I know way back in the day. And then I believe we went to Edinburgh for a little bit. And then we just been connected since in some way. I remember it was a curl fest. I forget 2018, I think. 2018.
Yes.
And I remember being in line with my sisters. It was our first time in New York City. And there was this big natural hair curl fest. And who do I see? Mind you, this curl fest is huge.
Thousands
of people in New York City.
People of color, like
yes. And who do I see in line? Actually, she had a curl fest shirt on. Keena. I was like, tell my sister, isn't that Keena from
Yeah, that was me doing the most.
Yes, and we took a picture, and then we just started following each other, I believe, on like Instagram, and just connected, just in some way connected, cheering each other on. And so as I'm like making my list of queens I wanted to get on my podcast, Keena was definitely somebody I was like, oh yeah, I want to hear about her journey. Like she said, she's been living in Philly for 8 years. And so I'm like, I know she got a story that maybe I know will inspire someone. So that is why I definitely got you on here. And I'm so excited to get into this conversation and just hear about your journey. So do you have anything to say because I just got real long-winded?
Yes, that was, you took me back. Okay. I was like, oh, that happened. Oh, that happened. Mrs. Forever doing something, but never thinks anything is a big deal. Yeah, I did work at Curl Fest a couple times.
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, like
yeah. Listen, that means you got a lot going on.
I'm so low key. It's just really, I'm so low key.
It's okay. Well, we might be bringing you out. 2023 might be starting off
popping out
real.
the crown.
Yes, we got our crowns. I was telling Keena before we got on here, like, man, this is the first time I think if I can remember, this is the first time I've actually had my natural hair out since I started, and it's shorter. So I'm like getting used to it. So that's a whole nother thing. But
that is something else to celebrate.
Yes,
see, I told you I have this problem. I'm always looking for a reason to celebrate. Like, oh, we got our crowns out today too.
Yes, we got our crowns. Well, Keena, show them what you got. Show them what you got for those who will be watching this on live. There you go. She got her Black Girl Magic Riesling.
Listen, this
and
is
I told her, get it out. Moment. We are celebrating a new year. We're celebrating our natural hair. We're celebrating us. Okay.
That is not a task.
Listen, I don't have any tonight. I got my water because 2023, we're gonna drink more water.
We are drinking more water. I have my water right there.
We're drinking more water and celebrating with more wine. Okay.
Yes. And I had to go pop that because it's been sitting over there looking at me for some
time.
But
you deserve it. You deserve
it. No, I'm celebrating you.
Okay. We're going to talk about it. So let's get into this conversation because this is about you and highlighting your journey. So Divinely Crowned Conversations is all about having real, honest, open, and transparent conversations about the everyday journey of being the queen we are destined to be. So when I always start these conversations, I always like to start at the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning, where we come from. And because it's where we come from, where we are, and where we're going. So you said you're from Erie. So tell me what young Keena was like. Well, back then you was Keena, okay? Because you said, no, I have elevated into just Keena. Not just Keena. I've elevated into Keena. So tell me what young Keena was like in growing up in Erie, PA.
I am your textbook middle child.
Okay.
I have tons of siblings. Yes. I love them all. But I'm the textbook middle child. I was always independent, always just super chill, like hanging out with friends. I was for me, I was the girl with the most friends at one point.
With me.
Then adulthood occurs and folks just start flying.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was super chill.
Yeah.
I really didn't care for to be in the mix. Mm-hmm. And at first I thought that was something new for me growing up. And I'm like, no, this goes back to your youth, Yeah. I really didn't like large crowds. So I was just always chill. Then I popped into adolescence, and that's when I think I met you. I ended up going to school on the west side because I'm from the east side, and it was just very different from me, but I made it successfully. Yeah. Vincent was a little different for me, but it was cool.
Yeah.
Went to Edinburgh by default. I always was that girl that I always knew I wanted more. Mm-hmm. I knew I wanted out, even at a young age.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the culture, and I didn't feel the culture. I didn't feel represented home, you know? And I knew that at a young age, and I say it with so much passion because I'm so grateful to see the changes that people have done in the community. But at a young age, I was just like, I don't fit in here. I'm really different. So I had an aunt. Well, I have an aunt. She lived in Pittsburgh at the time. She lived in Philadelphia at the time. So I would travel to see her. So I was her baby at the time. She had no children. I was her baby. And I was exposed to Philly at such a young age. And I was just like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
I've never seen this many Black people.
Yeah.
I have never been able to ride in a car and listen to rap and R&B all day.
Yeah.
I mean, this is back in the day, like not to age myself, but I just turned 34. So it's not
yes. I celebrate you. Happy belated birthday. Yes.
But it was at such a young age. I just knew. I was like, oh my goodness. We live in the same state.
Yeah.
Like, sure. And just the exposure to the culture, to people, to different style, different levels of expression. I was like, oh yeah, count me in. Just give me a minute. Let me get through this real quick. I'll be down here.
I love
And
that.
I made it happen. So as a young girl, I knew I would find my way back. Even if that was just the starting point, I knew I would find my way back.
Wow.
And I did.
Wow. So when do you think you like at what like when you say younger, like what age were you when you I know you said probably like all your life, but like what age were you when you were like feeling
I
like
was
that?
coming to Philly at I was around 11.
Wow.
11
Okay.
years old. It was around 12 years old. And I'm in love with the arts. I'm in love with the
Mhm.
music. I'm in love with, not to say anything creative, but just about
Yeah.
the creative arts. I have a huge, um, I'm just so grateful for them. I have a huge love for it.
Yeah.
And I was falling in love with the murals. I was falling in love with just the culture.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful experience. So I would say about 11 or 12.
Okay.
I remember even, it might have been a little younger than that, but I remember even hearing Erica Badu for the first time.
Yes. Ooh,
And
yes.
I was like, who is this? I
Oh,
wasn't going through a thing in the world, but I was able to resonate with Erica. And
listen.
so I discovered neo soul music,
Yeah.
and it was just so many things. Like, I mean, even talking about it is bringing chills to me about
Yes.
how I knew at such a young age. I'm like, oh, this place is different.
Mm.
I can listen to music all day. I can get on the TV and watch Black music videos all day.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying nothing outside of the BET, because BET has shows, they had this and that,
Oh
but
yeah.
that was the thing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I want parts.
Yes. Listen, we haven't even scratched the surface
I
of this
know. You're
conversation.
taking me back. Like, I never even thought to bring that up, but
I love it.
that is how I ended up here. Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
when we talk about like manifestation, which that word is fairly new
yeah.
word, shall I say?
Yeah.
But I've been doing that since I was younger,
Yeah.
not even realizing it.
Yes.
More
So
so being
going
about
back
talk about it. Yeah.
so going back to your when you're talking about being young and being that middle child and things like that, so do you feel like because you were maybe the independent middle child, because I'm the middle child, but I feel like I'm double middle because it's my older sister who's the oldest. The oldest is the oldest. And then there's my brother who is middle, but he's the only boy. And then my younger sister who's the baby. So it's like
That's
I'm
about
really the middle child.
yeah.
So I know my experience was, yes, I want to be independent. I kind of feel like I'm like not as highlighted at times. And maybe I was like so independent that I was highlighted for being independent. Independent people be the ones that get in trouble the most. So do you feel like that sense of desire for like the arts and things like that came from being a middle child, or is it just like tell me a little bit more about like how being the middle child kind of maybe even shaped you into where you were going?
That's a good point. As far as the exposure to the arts and creativity, no, I would give that back to the community in Erie. Like,
Mhm.
I grew
Oh,
up
yes.
going to the Erie Art House. I grew up going to programs like with Mrs. Carol Troop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we go back.
Yes.
I grew
Yes.
up, similar to like the JFK, and I believe it
Mhm.
was called Project Engage. It was so long ago,
Okay.
but I grew up going to those kind of community programs that I love.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how the experience with some of the arts came into play.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
and as far as the middle child, I had two younger brothers, and I had
Okay.
two older sisters in my home. So it was like my mom worried about them, and then she worried about them, but I didn't make that much noise.
Yes.
I was not the problem child.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you made a good point. Like, damn, I was so independent. I was always doing my own thing. Like, I
Okay.
was not
Mhm.
that person that worried the family.
Yeah.
And
God
it's
bless
still
you.
like that to this day.
That's good. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm sure they are too, because
They are very, very proud of me.
yes.
They are. But I learned a lot about different roles and relationships through
Yes.
that.
Yes.
It definitely did. So while it's not the easiest to this day for me to open up and express myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would say that highlights from being a middle child of just like I figured it out. I was an independent thinker. Like if I needed something going into adolescence, coming from girlhood, I figured it out.
Figured it out. Yes.
My mom still to this day is just like, you never talk to me about X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, Ma, I already processed that, you know? But then honestly, as a daughter, I'm like, darn, there's a certain role I have to play here. Like I have to let her in on certain things. And it's not that like, oh, you're my mom, I don't want to tell you my business. I'm learning to open up about certain things that I don't feel is of importance, but this is my role as a daughter.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm working on.
Man, yeah. So, wow, with you even saying that, so because I was gonna even ask, like, you know, how is your relationship with your siblings? But you even talk about touching on, you know, realizing I need to open up as an adult now, like to my mom more. I was like the same way. And I don't know, there's other things that maybe kept me from being more open because I did come from a family that was really faith-based and things like that. So that's another layer because it's like, I want to be free and I want to learn on my own and I love Jesus, but I want to do my own thing. But it wasn't for me until I had kids where I realized, oh, I need my mom. Like, I need to open up to her. And now she knows all my business. Okay. Well, within reason. Within reason. But you're saying, you know, like, because you were so independent and you kind of were like that, I'm figuring it out because they're all my other siblings are getting the attention or they're the ones that kind of need that. But you're saying like now I'm figuring out like how to have a more intimate, would you say?
Definitely a more intimate relationship. Yes.
Can you touch on that more? Because I guess we don't, that's interesting because I feel like I've never thought of that as like, you know, I know we like keep our secrets, like I said, from our mom, but our parents and stuff sometimes because we don't want them like telling us their opinion. But like, what does that look like? Or maybe you can encourage somebody else that might be trying to figure that out as well.
Sure. Okay. So this is actually one of my goals in therapy.
Okay.
So I'm learning to be a lot more connected and present in certain relationships because it varies. You know, one person to get this side of you, this version of you, another folks to get that side of you. So that's something that I'm working on. As far as me and my mother, that's it. It's just learning to be more open, communicate more often. So just being present because that is her right. I'm still her. All of her children are her babies. Don't get started. Like, but they're all her babies. But I'm just like, I'm the one with no children, and I felt her sometimes didn't feel as though she understood my lifestyle because why are you in New York? Why are you in Florida? Why are you in Houston? Why are you doing these things? And I'm like, why wouldn't I be? Right. But I had to come to terms with my mom was a teen mom, you know, so from adolescence she was wiping booties and honey, I have stuff to do. Yeah. Right? And it's not like I don't want to say it like, oh, okay, good. I'm glad you get it. So it's just like, Mom, I'm just doing me. And she did not understand it for so long. And now she's understanding it because I had to realize my mom never had this opportunities that I have. Yeah. She's never been able to live the way I have. And that's why she didn't get it. You know, coming from Erie, it's just like everything was unsafe to her. Yeah. Everything was just like, where you at? What you doing? And why? And I'm like, oh, you only know what I tell you. If you only know if you really I be out here living on what? Listen, you know, wow, protection. But yeah, it's just I had to come to terms with it like that. Like, wow, it's a possibility she may not understand because she's never had this experience, and I've never had the experiences that she has had. You know. So that's where we found where I found common ground and like, let her in a little bit.
Yeah. And now I feel like that also helps her be able to like sometimes live because I know I think our generation we're doing a lot of curse breaking and that's with traveling. That's with, you know, taking a chance and moving out of our cities and quitting our job 9 to 5s and like all these things that our parents didn't grow up understanding. So it's definitely a generational gap that is like hard to
It
understand, for them
is.
to understand. And like I listen to my parents, I live with my parents, so sometimes I listen to them talk and it's like, oh, we're teaching them though, but
Oh,
it takes
yes.
time. And for you to say, because I do feel like in the midst of us doing these generational curse breakings, sometimes we don't have enough empathy for our older generation. We just think they're supposed to get it. Y'all need to just get with it. But if they only grew up a certain way and now they
Mhm.
have this whole new way of thinking in so many ways, technology, all these things, and we're just expecting them to get it because they get it. But for you to say, you know what? You're right. My mom, she doesn't, this is new to her. Let me be a little
Very
bit
much
more
so.
gracious and
Very
patient
much
with
so.
her and me, you know. So I think that's beautiful, because I don't, like I said, I don't think that sometimes we give our older generation that understanding as well as we want understanding, but we got to give them understanding that it's going to take them a minute to wrap their heads around taking chances and things like that. So that's beautiful.
Yes, it was in very, when I had that aha moment, I was like, okay, you know what? Grace and mercy is what saved me, is what got me here, is why I'm still
Yeah.
here. I definitely can extend it to the closest person I'm connected to,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
even realizing at the time that maybe I was causing some level of damage in a relationship,
Mm.
because we don't look at it like that. I'm just like, Mom, I'm just so low key, and Mom, and I'm like, no, 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 no. That's your mother.
Yes.
Like, no. If
That's
anything
good.
happens, they're calling her first, So let
Mhm.
me just allow her. I can't believe I'm talking about this. This is which is a great thing, because, like, it can help someone else,
It
but
is. It does.
it is.
It
It's
does.
like we really, and like you said earlier, we're teaching them, and it's the roles are reversed right now. I got the upper hand,
You do
and
it
yes, I do. I have the upper hand,
now.
and she called me today and was like, Keena, where's your next? I call my little getaways key ventures.
I love
She's like,
it.
"You want to
I
go to
can be a
Vegas?" And I was like,
adventure.
"Mom." I was like, "Mom, I'm in a session. I'm at work right now. I'm helping someone. I'll call you back." Oh, okay. And I'm like, must be nice to call someone at 2:30 p.m. saying, "Do you want to go to Vegas?" And
Yes.
I was like, wow, it's just interesting right now.
It
It really is.
is. This is beautiful. Like I said, with these conversations, I just love when they flow because we
They
don't
do.
know. And for you to even be like, wow, like I didn't think about this and I can't believe I'm talking about this. And I do believe it. This is encouraging and inspiring me for me because like like I said, I live with my parents and I'm this entrepreneur now. And, my mom has my parents have very strong entrepreneur
Yes.
spirits, but in the same sense, they also have it like, I don't even know how to put it. Like my entrepreneurship and my sister's is really extreme. Like we're really like we wanted to do something and we're like doing it and it's like kind of almost out of the norm. So it's like yes, they have that spirit but it's like within a certain
Mm-hmm.
kind of box. So it's awesome to see like even how I'm able to share my experience of growing a business the way I am because my mom started with like home daycare and
Mm-hmm.
so that was something like everybody was doing. But like mine is like, I feel like very radical in how I'm growing a business. So, but watching her be inspired and like you said, I got the upper hand. Like I'm like teaching her, like, no, this is how
Yeah.
you do stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's so awesome. So I want to you have so many things that I want to just pull out of what you were talking about.
Okay. Well, one thing, shout out
Yes.
to the Paisley sisters, because
Oh,
I mean, not even just the sisters, like, I think I knew your mom before I knew it was your mom. And I know you probably hear this a lot, but like my mother went to school with your mother. So she's just,
really?
yes. So when she saw Annalie get honored from Crystal's event, she was like, I didn't know. I was like, Mom, this lady is so nice. She said, Keena, she's been like that since we were younger. And I was like, that must be a blessing to have that same spirit,
Yes.
from
Yes.
youth to adulthood. Now her daughters are walking around with that same spirit. It's just, that's a blessing. So shout out
Thank
to the family,
you.
because we love y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We love you. We know for real. Like, oh, I can't wait till this drops, by the way, because I was like, People don't even know. It's like a
they
celebrity out
really don't
here.
even know.
Love
They
it.
really don't even know.
So thank you. I appreciate that. So you, like I said, you have so many things I want to pull out
Okay.
of your journey.
Okay.
So before we kind of go into this where you're kind of at, I want to talk a little bit more about this kind of cultural difference. Like you said, even that you've seen like Erie has changed. But growing up, you were talking about how like you didn't see, like you didn't fit in here. I'm assuming as a Black little girl. And even with you saying that, like earlier, just saying like, I just felt like, I just didn't feel like this was where I was supposed to be, or like there was no culture here. I grew up mostly in church. So it was diverse. But for you to kind of say like, you've like, I don't feel like I had like that soulful experience. It's so funny. Like I have one of my friends is always like asking me if I saw certain movies that were like Black movies growing up, and I didn't. Like I'm like, no, like, or like it's sad. My parents, I'm like whatever. But either way, like that cultural difference and that longing you were having as this little Black girl that now it seems like you're getting, like, can you touch a little bit about like growing up in Erie and not feeling like you had that culture, that Black culture, let's be real, versus where you're at now and those experiences?
Sure. I don't want to give that too much energy, but I definitely want to touch base on it.
Okay.
So, as a young girl, I was really close to my grandparents. I was kind of like raised by them a little bit as well. And just being in a community, not even realizing that we were kind of initially raised in poverty, not even understanding that this is poverty because this is what we were experiencing.
Yeah.
So now into adulthood, looking back like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Coming back home, and it's this thing I do when I come back.
You don't gotta share it if you
It's fine because it humbles me.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying I'm anywhere near the way I will be living in the future.
Say that.
However, I ride past at least one of my old homes. Every time I ride past the old streets, or I drive past a house, and I'm just like,
yeah,
it's so eerie.
Yeah. Yeah.
The energy is different.
Yeah.
So just to not have that access of Black excellence at such a young age, or that exposure to it, I'm going to use that keyword, exposure to it. It was like, so being up under my aunt or coming up under her, and she was my everything. I saw her, young, beautiful woman, went to Pitt, left Pitt, graduated, went to Philly, phenomenal professional, great woman. Just that was my exposure. That was my firsthand natural support exposure. And that is how I got to see the way I wanted to live. I was exposed to it by that. So I got to have the exposure of Black excellence, and that's a personal thing, like how everyone defines success differently.
Yeah.
Black excellence can be defined differently as well.
That's good. Ooh.
Because
I like that, because that is true. Like because that is very true. Like when you see, some people may see it as like very prestigious, that's Black excellence, and some people may see it like the rappers and stuff like that. To them, that's Black excellence. So wow, I never really thought of it like that. Come on with all these gems. Come on, Keena.
It took a while for me to even accept that until somebody brought it to my attention. One of my homegirls was just like, you have no idea. Just to see you like living your life the way you desire, and you may not be where you want to be, but just to see you exuberating this level of Black excellence and freedom. And I'm like, girl, okay. But then I'm like, no, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I do feel as though like having a certain level of freedom is luxury to me.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is
luxury.
Come on, and while we're
Come on, I don't base it off of money. I don't base it off of employment or like I said earlier, everyone's level of success is personal. But for me, I'm like, okay, this is my story. This is my journey. And I don't want to get so caught up in the journey, because I'm faith-filled and I know that the real thing is the destination, I know wherever I end up, that's what success will look like to me.
Yes.
So
I love it. This is giving me, it's just filling me up. I love it. So I already knew this was gonna be like this because you just are Black excellence to me. Okay. So yes.
I don't even want to get started because I'll take over, but I'll start interviewing you. But I'm so rooting for you from the 2 on 5. Like I've been rooting for you for a while. I've been watching.
I know you have. And that is why you were on this, because I am like, this is an honor because I'll tell you, when I this was like a few years ago, Keena, I had first started Divinely Crown'd. I think I might have even still been as Divinely Plus, which was me just inspired. And you sent me an article random. I'm like, I didn't realize you was like following me like that. Like, you know how you follow somebody, but you sent me like, hey, I want to show you this article. Beyonce had like just had, I think, her tour or something. And she was talking about her weight and how like, and all this stuff. And you sent me that. I'm like, first of all, wow, thanks for thinking of me. But it just like, I've always loved you.
I appreciate it. No, definitely. Yeah. I'm definitely rooting for your success. Like this is beautiful to be part of the experience.
Thank you. So listen, I want to talk real quick again about what you were saying with the Black excellence and like coming back home and all these things, because just today or yesterday, I was telling my mom, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My dad and mom both work, but we definitely struggled. And I told her, I was like, listen, my kids are 10 and 7, and they've never had to see what, they don't even know what struggle looks like. They ask for something and they are blessed enough to mostly get it unless they're in trouble. And I definitely believe that Erie has changed a lot from where we were with like seeing the Black excellence. And I will say that, my sisters and their colleagues, organization Erie's Black Wall Street has done a lot to change the Black community. Like really, before we got on here, I was telling you like about our Black awards. Like this is stuff we would have never thought would happen. And even for me, I wanted to move. I still want to move, but I've wanted to move since I graduated high school. I ended up having my daughter and everything. But like, I'm like, I want more. I want to see more. I want to do more. And I still want that. But seeing these new things come that are just now coming, which is sad to say, it's like, okay, we have some potential, but we still have so long to go. But I love, like, even you just came back within the last year and you poured that back into the city by, you were at a women's lunch. Was that a breakfast or a lunch?
Yes, for the Taste and See women.
Yes, I was so happy. I was like, what is she doing here? But yeah, so for you to even be able to say, like, you know what, even though I grew out of this place, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm still going to come pour back into my city by pouring into my friends that are still here.
Yeah.
By reaching out when you see things happen, like you message me. Another thing, I had this event. I get a voice message from Keena. I'm like, what? I was like, she's like, we are rooting for you in Philly. I was like, stop. But yes, so for you to even being willing, because some people leave and don't look back, but for you to say, like, you know what, I'm still gonna root for these people. I still want the best for them. Like, I think that speaks volumes as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I wish I could support it all. I know there are ways you can support more often, but it's never like, I just want to touch base on this because when I made the comment earlier, like, coming from poverty, because we all know that Erie is a city of poverty. But in my home, that I did experience Black excellence, but to me, that's where we go back to going to what I defined it as. So that was my exposure, with my aunt, etc. But just now, like seeing all y'all doing these beautiful things, I'm just like, I cannot get enough. And the fact that I actually have some sort of a connection to you all is just even more beautiful. Like for Crystal to take off, and I remember her telling me like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And just to see how beautiful her journey has been with Taste and See. So when she did ask me to come and support, too easy. Like she's a dear friend, and I made it happen. So I'm just so proud. I really am proud. Y'all doing numbers up there.
And it's not easy. We are still breaking a lot. We're breaking a lot of barriers, and it's not easy. So for you to be, like on the outside looking in and being in a city that is thriving and has all these great things going on. My parents were just there a few weeks ago in the fashion district, I guess. There's so they're like, oh, we love it there. But just for you to be able to say like, listen, you guys are doing a little some big city stuff now. So good job. But like, we appreciate when people do that, because it shows that we're on the right track. So I love it. So go ahead.
I just feel like with that, like the big city things are on the right track. It's just like, it can be big city things, but it's your mindset. Like I told you specifically, like your event is what the city needed from a woman's perspective, from a Black woman's perspective, from a creative perspective. Like you probably brought people together that couldn't wait to get dressed up, couldn't wait to network, couldn't wait to connect. And that's another thing, like having that small city mindset, living in a larger city, we have to teach ourselves so many things.
I bet.
And networking was one of them.
Yeah.
I'm still teaching myself how to network appropriately. I'm still teaching myself how to do so many things, but it's all a part of the journey.
It's all a part of the journey. Oh, yes. This is some good stuff right here. So you were talking about, you were in a session. What is your background? Like,
okay.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead. Whatever you want to share.
Sure.
I was gonna say, what is your profession? I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know what I was gonna say, but yeah, what is your profession?
Helping folks. So I work in behavioral health, mental health, social work, all that good.
Yes,
okay. Yeah. So it comes super duper natural.
Yes.
It comes really super duper natural, but I'm in a space of, actually, to be transparent, in 2020, I was about to walk away from it all.
I bet.
Not even just because of the pandemic. This was before the pandemic. That was my 2020 plan of like, I'm done working. I'm going to put on my backpack and travel and do all of these things. That was my plan.
Yeah.
I was in Houston, end of January, early February, Super Bowl. And I'm like, yeah, it's official. I made my mind up. I'm going to do this. Come back, pandemic, take off. And I'm just like, what is this? I didn't get this memo,
Yeah.
So I had to sit down, and I'm like, ooh, if I didn't have the spiritual relationship that I have, I wouldn't have been able to listen. A month or so go by, I get into the company that I've been manifesting for 4 or 5 years.
Come on.
And I'm like, wow, God, I heard you, literally. You know how they say, like,
I heard you.
And I was like, all right, this is the year of not doing what I want to do. 2019 was my year of doing what I want to do, because I did it all. 2020 was doing what I needed to do. And I've been in this company. I'm growing. I'm learning, elevating, all of that. Yes. And so now that I was able to get a hold on this, as far as I want to say career-wise, as of late 2022, I'm just like, I miss being out creating. I miss being networking and, doing my events and just being on the scene. I miss it. But I can be honest with you and say, I had to take a couple steps back.
Yeah.
I did. I had to take a couple of steps back, because I'm just like, things were coming at me fast. And that is what I mean by I had to teach myself so many things. I'm still teaching myself balance. Still teaching myself balance. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. Yeah. I know.
No, listen, that word, balance. Yeah. And I'm a whole Libra.
And I'm a Sagittarius. We going after what we want. Like,
right.
so it's I don't want to keep overusing the word experience, but it can be challenging, but it can be also rewarding. It's all about your mindset and how you want to look, how you want to change the narrative. So having that time to sit down with myself, I'm like, okay, let's focus on aligning your career really quickly, and then once you get that unlocked, you can go and do X, Y, and Z,
Yes. Because you have a brand as well, right?
I do have a baby.
Tell me what your baby is about.
Thing. My baby been sitting for some time now.
It has. What's the name?
Busy Being Brown.
Yes.
Busy Being Brown. We go back.
We go back.
Yes.
Yes. So go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'll let you go ahead.
Do you want to talk about it?
Definitely. That would be disrespectful.
So first let's talk real quick about your profession and we don't have to get deep.
Okay.
But I want to talk because mental health is very big for me. I'm very vocal as a mom, as first and foremost as a woman, as a Black woman, as a mom, as somebody that has been had been in a very toxic relationship. I'm a huge advocate for mental health, for therapy and things like that. So being in the mental health profession, tell me tell the people, what is your advice maybe, or your take on, getting therapy and being mentally aware and having mental health awareness as a Black woman as well.
Okay. All right.
I know that's like a lot of layers. I was like, yes.
But this is what I do.
Yeah.
This moment is mine right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Share away, sister.
You have to think about it like this. My mother is a nurse by profession.
Okay.
If we needed anything, she knew how to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't take care of ourselves as Black folks because of our resilience. Everything is so normal to us. Everything is so normal. And you touched earlier on it, like we're changing the narrative. We're switching things up. The generations are different, and we have to take care of ourselves because our capacities are different.
Yeah,
our exposure is different. And I look at it as like all other moving parts. We'll go for a tummy ache. We'll go if we break a wrist. We'll go for I just don't know what's going on, but I'm not feeling right. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to go and connect to your mind, to a therapist, or some type of care for your well-being. I don't want to just say therapist because there are other levels of care.
Yeah.
However, just taking into account by acknowledging that I am a work in progress, and this is my well-being. Mental health is health. This is how I explain it to my patients. Like, please remove the narrative that it's for white people. Please remove the narrative that is for people with money.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole nother story.
I didn't know that. I never knew that was a thing. Like, people thought,
nothing's
it's only
free.
rich people.
The access to mental health and behavioral health care. Nothing's free.
Yeah.
So that's another barrier. It's just so many stigmas, but I just want us to know that the care is care. Mental health is health. For me, I will touch base on it. I'm the first person in my position in my company, and it's a huge company, ranked. But
go ahead and poke your chest out, Queen. Yes.
I'm the first person in my position where I am able to connect my patients who come to to primary care, which is your PCP, to that level of care, and it on site. So it's a pretty big deal. Like, you're coming in, but you're also going to be screened and connected to services for your well-being, for your mental health.
Yeah,
that is so major, and it came at a time where we needed this program the most.
Yeah.
So while the program has been created for some time ago, for me to be offered this position during the pandemic, it was so divinely on time.
Yes.
And I switched my narrative about it some time ago. I switched my mind and I'm like, wow, what better time to capture these children and adolescents? School shut down. They don't have access to the guidance counselors. Nobody knows what's going on. The teachers can't lay eyes on them, due to virtual learning. So we all know the one place they were going to hospitals and doctors.
Yeah.
So we were able to capture that and connect them that way. And it was just
so awesome.
It was just so beautiful.
Yes. And I can imagine that's very rewarding for you to be a part, because that's huge.
It is very much so groundbreaking. I don't look at it like this, but my leadership often reminds me how much of a trailblazer I am. And I'm just I've been doing this. And I'm like, no, this is a trailblazing opportunity. I am.
Facts.
You know?
Yes.
It's pretty.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being the voice and being a trailblazer, because that is some powerful. Listen, you a divine queen, okay? I love it.
I love it. Like, and my friends probably get sick of me, but I'm the one that just like, do you need help finding yourself a therapist? Because you can't keep tugging on me. I will help you.
Yeah.
I will lead you in the right direction, but it's what's needed to be done, and it's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to have someone sort it out for you, or to give you the tools that will sort it out and just how to manage. It's okay.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. You take your car to the mechanic.
Exactly. And that thing be running till we run longer than cars. So we need to be. Oh, I love this. I hope these gems that you are dropping, especially about mental health awareness, especially in this new year. Right now, we've said, like, I know I've posted, my sister's posted, a few other friends about, like, listen, I know we got goals. Everybody got goals, but right now we're, first of all, in the sad months. Take time, take care of your mental, be gentle with yourself, things like that. So with that being said, what are what's some advice you can give people right now as we are going through the winter months where a lot of people, are depressed and stuff? So what is some advice you might give somebody who might be struggling right now?
I love this question. You want to get back to the things that bring you joy. And it may sound like, oh yeah, that's things that bring me joy. Ooh, no, I mean, I'm serious. They should be closer to you than they should be farther from you. They should be extremely closer to you. So remind yourself of the things that bring you joy. And I mean, simple as, I have dance parties.
Same.
I love to read. I love connecting with like-minded individuals. And I love books, know. Just getting back to community and the things that bring you joy. And one thing we know about this time of year is that it's coming. So you have to prepare. And this also is a time of year that our money look funny. So while I want to go out shopping with all of these sales and go crazy in Zara right now, I know that that's not best for me. I love Zara. I love the boutiques. I love it. It's not best for me. And I had to find other ways to be responsible for my joy. So I would definitely say get in community. Have a toolbox. I call it my toolbox of things that I like to do. And I've also created a sanctuary within space. That's the freest thing you can do.
That, because my whole listen, I used to be like, oh, I'm so extroverted, but I don't know if it's the pandemic or what, but I'm like, I like being home. I don't want to leave. I want to be in my room, in my sanctuary, and just so I think that is some great advice, and I hope that whoever listens to us can take that advice, because I'm gonna use some of it for sure.
And just knowing that this time will pass. It's going to pass. And so getting back to what brings you joy, or having that close to you, being mindful of the time that we are in. It's not going to last forever. And just, you might even discover new habits or hobbies that you need for survival.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny you said that, because I think it was 2021, my friend group, we went to skiing for the first time because we were
So
trying to
nice.
figure out things to do. And you talk about luxury and, you know, being a young Black girl and not realizing, like, that was huge. I never thought I would go skiing. Now I'm like, when are we going back? Like, it's been a year, but we've been so busy in the winter months. But it's like, yeah, you saying like you might find a new hobby. Like, I can't wait to go back skiing.
Sledding is everything.
Yes, and those two, yes, like, it's so, even though I just asked my daughter the other day, "You wanna go sledding?" "No, I do not like the snow."
The kids are so different now.
They are real different. Yes.
Yeah.
So you talked about community, which is big for me. You talked about friendship. So how important is friendship on your journey and like in your community?
Listen, so during the pandemic, of course, I'm just buying books and reading them. But I came across this book. It's my go-to. All About Love by Bell Hooks.
Okay. I'm gonna get that. So I'm gonna get that so I can put in the show notes too. So when I'm done,
It's All About Love by Bell Hooks. It is a great book. It teaches you about the different types of love. And in this book, she talks about friendships.
Okay.
And so for me, just to be transparent, I will always feel as though, why am I grieving? Why am I struggling with the loss of this friendship more than I would be over a romantic relationship? And then she touches based on that. It's just so beautiful. I don't even want to give the book away, but it's
gonna get this book.
It's just so beautiful how she broke it down as far as like how in community and friendships we have different roles and things, like we have different expectations, whereas in a romantic relationship you expect some things to go haywire a little bit, some level of chaos or something. But she breaks it down to why sisterhood is extremely important. And I feel so validated because I thought like, Keena, you've been through so many different types of friends, and it's okay because so many different versions of you needed different types of friends. And even if I don't speak to some people to this day, or excuse me, not speak to, don't have a relationship with these people, I don't hate them. It's okay. It's all a part of the journey. Like, we just,
you made me cry.
And it's because we need to talk more about it. You
Yes,
know, it's
we
like
do.
This person has not been aligned with where I am right now. And
oh my God.
It's okay.
Yes.
It will be okay.
Yeah.
My sister told me we had a pact. We left together, my sister and I. She went to the Army and I moved to Philly. So she's been in the service 8 years. I've been in Philly for 8 years. She was just like, Keena, not everybody's going to be able to go with us. And I'm like, whatever. I don't know what she's talking about. You know, my friends are going to be my friends. My cousins are all going to come and visit me.
Listen, come on.
Life was life. And when I thought I needed a lot more than what I actually need. I needed these things to happen to me. So it happened for me, not to me.
For you.
You know, so.
Yes. Girl, we're going to have a whole nother conversation on friendship. Like you said, we don't have these conversations enough, and you talking about that grieving of a friendship. That's some serious.
It's serious.
It's especially as you're growing, and knowing that you aren't aligned with certain people, and it's like, oh my God, am I leveling up so I don't need this person? No, you've outgrown. Even if it's for the time being, even if it's forever, and that is hard, especially when people know, like, just like in a relationship, people know it's you two, and then it's like, oh, I don't see this person in pictures with her no more. Like, oh, like, it's hard. Like, all of it is hard. So for you to even touch that little bit, like, that touched my.
It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah, and not everybody can go.
Not everybody can go, and I think we all need to get better at just communication around it. Like, you don't have to hate people. You don't have to X, Y, and Z, but sometimes just accepting that this person is not aligned for the next chapter or to walk alongside me in my journey. And I've even learned that some of the people whom I've known for a very long time, they don't know how to be the friend to me to the woman that I am today.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Girl, you just dropping all.
It's just is what it is. And half the battle is knowing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
can't fault you because you're being you, but
Mhm.
I don't need that level of friendship right now. I need a little bit more of X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z, or I need
Yeah.
you to be, I need to be able to have certain kind of conversations with you.
Yeah.
I need you to hold me accountable. I need you to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That is. Ooh. I hope. Oh, y'all better watch all of this because this is just all so good. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your brand. I have a few questions I
Okay.
like to ask before we wrap up, but I definitely want to talk about your
Okay.
brand,
Okay.
because you are like you. I love how passionate you are about being a Black woman. I think it is, and I don't, and to break that down for somebody who doesn't understand, like there's that we're all proud to be Black and we have different levels, just like you said there's different levels of Black excellence, but you literally just exude this like
Thank
I
you.
am a Black queen, and you don't even have to say anything, it's just even in your presence, and I don't even know if you know that, but
That is such an honor, honestly, because it just speaks volumes. It just does.
yeah,
That is representation.
yeah,
That's what I instilled. That's what I desired. That's what I wanted
yes, yes,
coming up. Like not feeling it. So to know
you
that I'm have that impact on others, I'm grateful.
You're welcome. I'm so serious. And so you have a whole brand called Busy Being Brown, right?
Busy being brown.
So tell me about that. And I'm assuming we're talking about all this like with your love of our culture. Like tell me about the brand and how it came about.
Definitely. So busy being brown. I wordplay a lot. I write. So it came about with me playing around with some words, probably writing something somewhere. And then I got to thinking like, I'm busy, I'm always in a move or I'm a being. So
Mm,
it's way deeper than like I am a being. We are all
come on,
beings
Keena.
having a human experience. So however people choose to identify X, Y, and Z, we're all beings at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
And the brown came from that's because that's what I am.
yeah,
It did not take away from my Blackness.
yeah,
But
yeah,
in that time with me identifying with myself and creating my brand, like I would always hear, look how brown you are. You're so brown. And I mean, I am like, so it goes back to like the brown people, the Black and brown
yes.
people. But I had to
Mhm.
choose, I had to
Yeah.
choose. So it started off with me just blogging. It started off
Mhm.
with me attending networking events. It started off as me being accountable for getting into the community here and putting
Mm.
myself out there on a level and exposing myself. It started off
Mhm.
with that. I I got in some rooms, honey. I got in some major rooms.
I
It was
love
moving
it.
fast. It was
I
moving
love
very
it.
fast. And I was like, whoa, this thing is about to get bigger than me. It's about to get bigger than
Mm.
the note section of my iPhone.
Oh, you're just
And
like, I'm so
and it
emotional.
does. No, because you know why? I never shared this story.
Mm.
It was getting so big. That's my baby.
I get it.
It's my baby.
I get
And
it.
I was going to events. I was connected, very well connected, still is, to the community, to people in other higher places. And
Mhm.
it's just beautiful. Just being myself, Davina,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
being me. I
Mhm.
felt so
Girl, I
accepted.
cannot. I'm like literally like
No,
trying
I
not
felt so accepted.
to. Mm.
And I just was showing up as me. You hear people say, I just want to be me. I just want to show up as me. No, I literally, in being form, in human form, in Keena form, was showing up as me and I was accepted.
I love it.
I was on fire.
I
You
love
couldn't
it.
stop me. Like, it turned it up a notch. I mean, you're talking about this little brown girl from Erie with glasses, and you know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
Yes.
just struggle with being even accepted on a beauty scale.
Mm.
popping out and just folks loving on you left and right. And I'm like, me?
I get it.
I fit
I
in.
get it.
I'm accepted. I'm elevating, and
Yes.
it was just on time again,
I
divinely on
love it.
time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
one of the reasons why I will share this, one of the reasons why I decided to take a step back was, first and foremost, it was getting it became a lot. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
scale back, and I'm like, well, you need a plan. You need a plan. You need to be able to identify exactly which way, what you want your business to look. How do you want it how do you represent it? Because it was not just cute fits or blogs or events and things like, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I was a part of my brand. But I'm like, I want this thing to be a lot larger. I want it to be able to, the longevity of my brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had to take a step back of like, you got to do this the right way.
Yeah.
And it's okay to take those steps back to align yourself with the different versions of where you are, to do things the appropriate way, because there's no right way. And I had to tell myself that. Coming from where I'm from, I'm teaching myself, I'm exposing myself, I'm having
Mm-hmm.
these experiences. There is no right way. It's the
Mm-hmm.
Keena way. It's everything is divinely on time.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's do it the appropriate way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. I ain't even gonna hold you. I wish we would have did this live, because people need to hear this in real time. But it's okay, because when they see it and hear it, they go, this is, I'm so filled up. And I think for me, hearing you say all this, as you talk about that's your brand is your baby. Like,
It
I'm like,
is.
I got my 2 kids, and DivinelyCrown'd is my 3rd child. Like, I eat, sleep, and breathe this thing. And I was telling you before I got on about an award I just got and what I kind of felt about it. And I'm like, I'm trying to process that. Like, listen, you talk about manifesting. I prayed this. I spoke this for years. I've been speaking about this brand before it was a full brand. And it's like, to see everything, like you said, coming so fast. I'm like, wait, are you sure I
Yes,
deserve this? Am I supposed to be having, is it all like, because
yes.
it's like, wow. And for you to like kind of be saying you're sharing your experience, it's like, for me personally, it's like, wow, like I'm glad to hear this right now, because I needed that. So thank you for
And
sharing.
I'm happy I can share. I'm
Mhm.
happy I'm in a better place of sharing,
Yeah. Yeah,
because
I'm sure.
everything is not for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to be honored to have this opportunity to do so, and to see the way that you're doing it. Like, you are doing it the appropriate way. Like, you're doing
God.
it. Like, your support is coming from people you probably never even knew existed.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
That's how you know it's divine. I'm serious. Like, it's coming from all over. When I would say my brand name, people will be like, wait, what you said? And I'm like, there goes attention that I don't like. I
Yeah.
don't like attention. And people will never know that about me.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I'm
legit.
so behind the scenes.
The anxiety on the inside, people would never. I'd be like, my anxiety comes out in just being really loud and very hyper. And so, but yeah, I know. I
It's
know.
happening. I'm so proud of you. It's happening. I'm
Thank you.
grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the the inspiration you have set inside of me,
Oh,
to be able to, continue to find balance and learn balance. But I
yeah.
also can say this: while a lot of people want you to do things the way that others may be doing things, do it the way that you want to do it.
Mhm. Mhm.
They
Mhm.
think just because I took a major break from social media to an extent, or a major
Mhm.
break from taking some time to get things in order for Busy Being Brown, that I'm not doing anything. Oh no, I'm very connected with the inspiration.
Oh,
I
I
have to
believe it.
myself
Yeah.
put myself in position to remain inspired. That is what
Mhm.
fuels me.
Yes.
So, I mean, that and a little wine, but
And that's all right.
and
Okay.
I
And
have
that's
to.
all right.
I definitely feed myself through
Mhm.
inspiration and doing the things that my moments of joy.
Yes.
So The wheels
I
are
love
turning.
it. They are. They are. So I always ask a few questions. Like I said, I go just with the flow, and this has
Sure.
flowed so divinely. Okay. I just am so filled up. This is I couldn't have asked for a better first interview of the new year. You are
Oh,
actually first of 2023,
oh wow.
first of season 2. Okay.
Oh
So
wow.
come on, sis.
Oh wow.
So
That's some pressure, honey. The
ain't
pressure. The
no
pressure
pressure,
is
girl. You
getting
setting the
worse.
bar. You setting the bar. But I always like to ask a few questions. And the first one, while we're talking about, just being able to be your true self. Divinely Crowned is all about confidence. And I know we're all on our different journeys of confidence. So I always like to ask, like, what does confidence look like or mean to you?
I wouldn't be here if I did not have the level of
Mm,
confidence. I would not be here. And
mm-hmm,
I mean, all of me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I really was not able to accept my beauty and my beauty
mm.
standards until kind of like mid 20s.
Wow, yeah.
That's late in the game.
Mm. Listen, I'm right there, so I get it.
And
I
it's
get
not
it.
that I didn't have people telling me, it's not that, but it
Mhm.
comes from self.
Mhm. Mhm.
It
Yeah.
comes from self.
Yeah.
Confidence is the fuel.
Yeah.
Confidence is like the country fair gas. That
Yeah.
I mean, not maybe not the country fair gas, but the gas we
Touch
need.
yeah, yeah.
Confidence is it, and I just wouldn't be here. So one thing I can say that I have done throughout the years is I removed access from people. I
Mm.
removed people's access who I felt was conflicting to my confidence.
Mm. Y You wanna elaborate? I mean, you don't gotta get into your own personal, but, like, maybe for somebody who might be struggling to do that, what
Sure.
you got to say to them about that?
I would say pay attention,
Mm.
assess, and if it's still making you feel away, and I'm not talking about the whole jealousy thing. I'm talking about just if it makes you not be your best self, not allow you to be your best self,
Mhm.
find a place to put that.
Mm.
You can take it
That's
to the
good.
Goodwill. You can take it to the trash night on Wednesday. You could even either give it to somebody else, but it don't belong over here.
Mm. I love this. This is just so good. I love
Because
it.
if my confidence become affected, that messes with my creativity.
Yeah.
That messes with my money.
Mhm. Mm. And messes with your life pretty
And it
much.
messes with most importantly, to be honest, it messes with my well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And you even talking real quick about how, you didn't find out late into, like, your 20s. That's not late because I mean, I'm a whole confidence coach. There's people from young to old that need my services because they don't have that. And I'm like, listen, I was in my 20s. It wasn't until I had my daughter. I had low self-esteem all the way up until I had my daughter, which was in my 20s. And I'm like, if it wasn't for her, who knows what I would be feeling about
Mhm.
myself, because I knew I had somebody who needed to be able to look up to me and see what it's like to be a strong person who loves themselves.
Mhm.
So I was like, I have this little girl who's going to look up to me. I don't want her to have to feel like she has to look other places
Mhm.
before her mom to
That's right.
to understand. And now my child has more confidence than I ever had.
Love
Just
to
even
hear
by
it.
how I'm moving in the world, she's like, it's literally a reflection. And being able to say, like,
I love to
I
hear it.
I found my confidence for her, and how her now being a reflection, it's like, okay,
I love to hear
listen.
it.
Yeah. So it's like, and then, like I said, with that, it's people that are older than me, my age, that are
Mhm.
still looking for
Mhm.
that. And I want everybody as much as they can to be able to feel this, because like you said, it's literally how you can be more creative and so many things. Like, you need confidence
You
to
do.
do.
It's the fuel. Confidence
Yes.
is it's my fuel.
Mhm.
I would say for me it would be love,
Mhm.
joy, confidence,
Yes.
and those are things that fuel me.
Yeah.
And a little bit of creativity here and there, but
Yeah.
that comes after I make sure I have all of that, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's it's necessary. And
It
and
is.
define your own beauty standards.
Yes. Thank you.
Define your own beauty standards,
Yeah.
because not one day am I going to wake up and my face is going to look different.
Okay. Mhm. Yeah.
It's a little how I started to see myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was on from there.
Yes. I love it. I love
It
it.
was
So
on.
I always have this big question,
Okay.
as we talk about our journey. And this question I've started since all my interviews, because, and it started when I was reflecting on my event that I had. For those who might not have been following me, this is the first time you're listening. I had an event for my brand called a Sip and Slay Soiree back in October of 2022.
Yes, you
And
did.
during that event, I literally, oh, after the event, I posted the little girl in me was set free at that event. And it's because that little insecure girl, I just felt like she was running all around, and that, like, her spirit was just running all around. So I always like to ask this question: what would you tell young Keena at this age you're at now, with everything you've learned and the journey and the experiences you've had up until now? What would you tell little Keena right now? The version that you don't gotta get the, because there's, you
Yeah.
don't have to get too in deep, but what would you tell her?
You know what, Davina? I've always been connected to my inner child.
I love that.
I'm not strayed away from her. And I think that is what keeps me so grounded.
Yes.
Like, to know me is to know, like, this girl played too much. But other people be like, that girl's mean. She's always so serious. But the folks who know me just like, what day are you gonna grow up? You
Yeah.
know, I'm very much so connected to my inner child.
Mm,
And it's just a beautiful experience. So I just want to say that the thoughts that I was having, I wasn't crazy. The music that I wanted
mm.
to listen to, I listened to it. I'm making music. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing.
Yeah.
Like, the I'm a part of what I manifested. I'm a part
Yeah.
of, like, the life that I wanted to live is happening.
I love it.
So being a first in this position for one of the leading hospitals in pediatric care,
Come
you knew you was
on.
going to be the first somewhere. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on,
Like,
sis.
you
Yeah.
knew. I knew.
Yes.
So I just want to affirm her and say, thank you for
Affirm her.
never letting someone make your dreams feel too big or too
Wow.
small. And I'm very humble. And I said, when I come home, I drive past my old homes, or I
Yeah.
try to see somebody or old friend or two. But it's definitely a very humbling experience I never will forget where I came from.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
So I'm still with her. We still rocking and rolling.
I
We still
love.
rocking and rolling. And we still wearing purple.
Yes, I need to wear. I'm like, purple's my favorite color, and
That
it's
was
my
my
brand.
favorite color.
And I need to wear more purple. Like, what is wrong with me? I wore purple for my event, and I'm like, I need to be wearing this more, like,
It
all the time.
definitely does something to you.
It
It
does.
reminds you of the
Real
royal in
royal,
you.
just
It
yes,
definitely. And that was my theme. That was my theme. So 34 for me is the year of knowing what to do.
yes,
34 is my year of yes.
yes.
And 34 is my year of letting others in. So
Okay,
it's happening. Yeah.
it is. I mean, especially with this
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah. So this was an honor for myself as well.
Yes, I
It's
love
happening.
it. I love it. So this has been amazing, and I always like to kind of leave the royal throne for you to share anything I might not have asked you that you wish I would have said. Anything, the floor, the throne is yours. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up?
I would like to say again, thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I want to say, if ever I could be of service, please feel free to reach out to me directly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had the capacity to do so,
Oh,
I
I
would make
love that.
myself available.
Yes.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you.
extremely honored. Honestly, this does numbers for me. I'm honored, and I would say for other people in our community, hometown or other places, keep dreaming, dream big, ask
Mm-hmm.
big, be specific in your ask, be very
Yes.
specific in your ask. And I want to say something like, I'm all about my peace.
Mm-hmm.
But on the first, I really had, it's time to self-assess. And I was just like, okay, you've mastered, everyone knows, don't mess with Keena peace.
Mm-hmm.
So now my thing is like, how to maintain my peace.
Mm.
So you have to be specific in the ask,
Mm-hmm.
um, accountability,
Mm-hmm.
and just getting back in community
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
communication. Like just communicate.
Yes.
And those may seem like it's easy, but the tools are out there.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, this was just like I said, I'm filled all the way up.
I'm happy to hear
I'm
that.
filled. So, and I always like to give my queens their flowers because
Yeah.
so I got to give you yours first and foremost. Just thank you. Thank you
No, thank you. I
for
appreciate it.
allowing me the honor and privilege to interview and hear about um even a part of your journey because you have a beautiful journey and I just have
Very
loved to hear
expensive.
it. Yeah, I bet. So just thank you for being you. Thank you for inspiring me through these years, even from far away. Thank you for cheering me on and genuinely, I use that word so much,
Yes.
genuinely supporting and seeing me. And I see you, Black Queen. Okay. I see you. I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see what you do next. And we will be connecting. Divinely Crowned
Oh,
and
yes.
Busy Being Brown
Oh, yeah.
will be
We locked
collabing.
in. We locked in.
Okay. Yes. One day it's going to happen. So thank you again for tonight. I'm like, I cannot wait to have people listen to this, watch this. I always like to close out and then I'm gonna end the recording and then we can talk. I
Okay.
don't know if it ends when, and I'll cut this out, but if it ends when I end record, then I'll call you.
Okay.
So, but yes. So once again, thank you to Keena for this
Yes.
amazing divine conversation. I'm so excited that this was our like beginning of all the conversations to come. Thank you guys for whenever you tune in and listen to this. A few things I want to remind you of if you are in the Erie area. We are having DivinelyCrown'd having their next event, the not Sip and Slay. Oh my God. The Lovers and Friends soiree, which will be on February 11th. This is not for just couples. This is for your lovers. And if you just have friends, bring your homies, bring your girls. Just come and enjoy love and positivity as we get ready to really fully start the new year. So that's February 11th. So next month, get your tickets on Eventbrite. And also, I don't know if you're in Erie, I don't know if you've heard, but DivinelyCrown'd has been named the best Black podcast in Erie, PA, with the Erie's Black Wall Street's very first Green Light Awards. So thank you to those who this let me first tell you guys, for those who don't know, this awards is a new awards that's honoring Black businesses in different categories. At the end, there was a fill-in category, and Divinely Crowned Conversations was consistently picked for best podcast. So I am truly grateful for those of you who have watched, listened, gave feedback, and felt that I deserve this award. Like, I'm so honored and humbled, and I appreciate you guys so much. But yes, so don't forget to like this podcast, subscribe to it, tell a friend to tell a friend, and come join the queendom. So until next time, remember, you are divinely crowned. Bye.